Here we go then. Second try. Hopefully my PlayStation doesn't give up this time. As we see that LTK Terrier is now on top. We want to wait 0 to 10s quicker than Mac Attack. And he's ahead of all of the championship contenders. Mac Attack is the first of them in P2, 1.5 tenths ahead of Angelo. Scott is another 1.5 tenths behind. And then it's 2 tenths to Vapid Good. For our fighting for the championship tonight. Mr. Mac Attack is gonna start his second flying lap. Right, and now see if he can find some time, find a few tenths, get himself on provisional pole position. 10th improvement in the first sector. It's a good start to his lap. Purple second sector for Mr. Mac Attack, and he might be on for a provisional pole lap if he continues this till the end of the lap. Across the line, is it gonna be good enough? It is by barely 11 thousandths of a second ahead of LTK Terrier, who's about here to start his flying lap. Vapid Good has backed off. He won't be improving. Meanwhile, Scott, right now in P4, but he is improving on his lap. 2 tenths in the first sector. Almost 3 tenths in the middle sector. But he validates coming out of the penultimate corner. And that's not going to be an improvement either. For Scott, let's see what LTK Terrier can do. He only has to find 11 thousandths of a second in order to re-get provisional pole position, but he's not improving in the first sector. Over a tenth off at the moment. Or losing it at the end of the first sector, or beginning of the second sector, into the quick right-hander, and mid corner, the back end stepping out, and that is basically a lap ruined. As LTK Terrier is spinning out of his qualifying lap attempt, and he will be returning back to the pit lane and try again in a few minutes time. That means that Mr. Mac Attack is still on provisional pole position with 6 minutes remaining. At the moment, nobody out on track, everyone in pit lane. Over 5 minutes left.
Doing well in qualifying does not guarantee coming out on top in Brazil. One of many things Sao Paulo is known for is its largest international population. The city of Sao Paulo has the highest concentration of Japanese natives outside of Asia and features the world's only Both Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz recorded the first ever F1 podium finishes at the 2019 Brazilian Grand Prix.
And Kyle is the first one to go back out. Kyle in the Jordan with his teammate Fabit Good, and they can win the championship as well tonight. They need to outscore Scott in order to do that. They're 8 points behind Scott and the target Chip Ganassi. Elticaterra is going out once again with a bit under 4 minutes remaining. He's going out quite early. So Kyle has started his lap at the moment in last place of the drivers with a lap time. Only one in the 1/10 at the moment, but looking for an improvement. Get into the 109s. And he's improving by 4/10 as Elticaterra, I think, is going for another warm-up lap, out lap. Just 1.5 seconds off his time in the first sector. There's still plenty of time till the end of the session. As Kyle across the line improves by 2/10, but unable to improve his position and stays in P8 at the moment with a 109.8. Well, Mac Attack out on a lap as well. And are we going to see Elticaterra putting into the pit lane or going for another lap? He is certainly going for another lap. Currently in P2. 2 minutes left. Let's see what they can do as the rest of the drivers make their way out of the pit lane. First sector then. Not improving once again, almost a quarter of a second down on his time. Not looking too great for Tarrier in sector 1. Might not be able to improve his lap time. That's meaning he would start behind Mac Attack, who is still in P1. Might be able to find some time, and both of them are quite comfortably ahead of the rest of them at the moment. Can you find anything in the middle sector? Purple middle sector, but he's still down on his time by half a tenth, and now he's certainly down as spinning out of the penultimate corner and invalidating as well. And it's been a bit of a difficult session so far for Tarrier, as he have seen him spin around twice so far. And he won't be improving on this lap either. Now Mr. Mac Attack is up on his time. Almost a 10th improvement, could be going into the 1/7. And or not, because he's going a bit wide, and that's an invalidation as well. Mr. Mac Attack won't be improving either. Plenty of opportunities for Scott and Angelo and the rest of them. But good, not quite improving in sector 1, 200s down. As Angelo is improving by almost 1.5 tenths in sector 1, but he has to find a bit more to secure a spot on the front row. Scott is waiting for something, but with only 15 seconds to go, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it to the line. Don't think he is. And yet another championship contender is not going to be able to improve. And Angelo, nearing the end of his lap, Scott is certainly out. Kashimri has made his way up to P4, which relegates Scott down to P5. Angelo then across the line. Can he find some more time in the final sector? Losing a bit of time actually, and it is P3 for him. Then Panda, currently in P7, look to get a bit higher up the order. He does so by one position. And Panda is up at the P6. Ahead of Vapid Good and Vapid Good and Carla, two Jordans. Down in P7 and P8. Not looking too great when they're in the race where they need to beat. Targa Chip Ganassi racing car of Scott, who was qualified in P5. Wait till Kashimri crosses the line. Finish off this qualifying session, and it's Mr. Makatak on pole position by only 11 thousandths of a second to LTKT, both of them making mistakes on their final run. So we'll never know for sure if they will be able to go even quicker than that, but it's very tight at the top. And Angelo in P3. Mr. Makatak having the best cards for the championship at the moment. Angelo P3 out of Kashimri in P4, Scott down in P5. Ahead of Panda, Fat Cheetah, Fabit Good downway in P7. Ahead of his teammate Cal, Tom Corin and Chris Lesko rounding out the top 10. Haven't set a lap time. And they're down in P9 and P10. Bit overcast in the race, but still looking dry. So no rainfall in sight yet. As we wait a few moments before lights out to get this season finale underway. Right, the championship battle between Scott Vapid Good, Mr. Makatak and Angelo. Which of these four drivers will come out on top at the end of this race? still waiting for the lights to go out. And there we go then. Formation lap is underway. To get the tires to an optimum tire temperature level. Got 36 laps ahead of us. Still bunching up on the formation lap. Meanwhile, in the back with Kashimri almost is going onto the grass. Trying to warm their tires. Getting very close at the back end of this lap. Someone going off in the background. It is Kyle in the Jordan taking an alternative route, alternative approach into the penultimate corner. Teammate at the back of the pack at the moment. Wait until the cars line up in their grid positions. Vapid Good is the final one. Put it into their assigned grid slot. Right, here we go then, this is it. The race of the season, the final race of the season. 5 red lights going on and they're out and we are on the way, and it looks to be a good start from LTK Terra, but it's an even better start from Angelo, who goes into the middle of the 2 front runners and they're going wheel to wheel with Mr. Makatak into turn 1. But can't quite get the overtake done. Mr. Makatak holding on to the lead for now. Angelo has moved up to P2 ahead of LTK Terra, losing out at the start. As Angelo going for the move up the inside of his rival, and Angelo taking the lead at the end of sector 1. Mr. Makatak relegated down into P2. What a brilliant start that was from Angelo. Meanwhile, Scott fighting for position with Kashimri. Scott is up at the P4. Rapid Good struggling to hold on to position just ahead of Tom Gorin, who has made up a position since the start of the race. Got past Kyle, who's down to P9. Kislesko still in P10 on a set of hearts. And he's actually, with LTK Terrier, the only one on the hearts. And that explains yeah, the worst launch from LTK Terrier. Being on the harder compounded tire, less traction, less grip at the start. Mr. Makatak following Angelo into turn 1. Scott looking to go around the outside of LTK Terrier, but couldn't quite find a way past. Now on the back straight with the help of Slipstream and some ERS up the inside. And taking the position away and up at the P3 it is. Now he's for a second behind the leading 2. We'll have to close that gap. And someone's going off, and it is Terrier going off. What a dreadful start so far. Driver starting P2 in this race, all the way down to P8 as a result of that. Good once again finding himself wheel to wheel with Tom in the opening stages of this race. Still holding on to P6 for now. Angelo, Mr. McAtack going for it once again. Mr. McAtack will have to go the long way around the outside into turn 1. Is he going to be able to make it work wheel to wheel? He's staying behind for now. Angelo remaining in the lead of this race. Trying to break the slipstream, weaving a bit. With the help of DRS, Mr. McAtack looking on the inside, but braking earlier and deciding to stay behind for the time being. Kieslewski and Kyle fight it out. Kyle already ran out of ERS this early on in the race on lap 3. And he's got Kieslewski on the inside. And Kieslewski now ahead of Kyle, almost down to P10. McAtack is that much closer to Angelo. With the help of DRS, might be able to go for the move this time. On the outside of turn 1. But Angelo holding on. Mr. McAtack around the outside, and that is position gained. And Mr. McAtack back into the lead, where he started from. Oh, Angelo almost onto the grass there, coming out of the center S's. And retaking the lead. With the help of DRS. Meanwhile, Scott has closed the gap and he is right with them. 3 of the championship contenders within DRS range of each other. LTKTR trying to find his way back through the field. Kashimri already has gotten himself a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Out of your positions, and he's also down to P8. And now pulling into the pit lane. Might have gotten himself a bit of damage. But either way, getting rid of the softs on lap 5. Confirmation that there was damage to the front end of Kashimri's car. Front wing being replaced, and he's going on to a set of hards. So for 30 laps still remaining in this race. Will be a long stint, almost losing out of the pit exit. Be careful to not put it straight into the wall. Well, Mr. McAtack has created quite a bit of a gap to Angelo. 1.2 seconds. He's gotten himself free of the cars behind. We're not within DRS range anymore. Scott looking to change that as he goes for the move on Angelo into turn 1. And he's up into P2, and now we'll have to try to close the gap. Down to under a second to Mr. McAtack. .3 at the moment. Fepetkoot fighting it out with Panda. Fepetkoot, one of the championship contenders, down in P6. And his 3 rivals are out in front. And I've created quite a bit of a gap to Tom, who has found his way up at a P4 from the back of the grid. Impressive stuff so far. Comes Terrier. You're gonna go for the move. Despite the tire disadvantage. Finds the way past and he is up at the P4. Had a difficult start to this race, but he's finding his feet finally after a few laps. Tried to close the gap a bit as the softs of the cars in front will deteriorate sooner rather than later. The turnaround point where the hearts of Terrier will be quicker than the advantage. Compared to the softs, bit of a moment though in the middle sector. Already has gained a few tenths to the cars in front. Broken free of Tom, Vapid and Panda. 1.7 is the gap right now, and Vapid will be looking to go for the move as well on Tom. Very close to the back. Pulling out. We'll have to go the long way around the outside of turn 1. Braking much later. Side by side, now on the exit. There was a bit of contact and Tom gets forced off track. Panda goes past Vapid as a result of that. And I think Tom might have an illegal overtake on Vapid. Still sending it up the inside, but Vapid takes the position anyway. And Panda has gone 2 for 1. And he's found himself up at the P5. Capitalizing on the cars in front, going at it. And he's already created a 1 second gap. As Mr. Makatek continues to extend his lead at the front, 2.1. Right now to Scott. He's still got Angelo within DRS range. Terrier absolutely closing the gap. 1.6 the gap. Was 3 seconds, I think, a lap ago. Taking massive grounds to the cars in front. Wonder when the softs are gonna drop off and when they will have to pit for sort of hards. Still 26 laps remaining. When is going to be the turnaround point? Where they have to pull into the pit lane and go for a sort of hard. Looks like LTK Terrier has made a bit of a mistake, because the gap was 1.5 a moment ago. But now it's back down to 4 seconds and all the good work has become undone. For the front row runner in this race earlier on. Meanwhile, Angelo re-overtaking Scott and he's back up into P2. But they're not closing in on Makatek out in front. Still 2.7 seconds. And it's growing lap after lap. Once again wheel to wheel, and this time it's Scott retaking the position, but the gap is growing even more, now it's up to 3.3 seconds. As Tom is the first one to go into the pit lane on lap 11. Putting on a set of hards with still 25 laps remaining. And the safety car is out. Safety car has been deployed. And it's LTK Terrier. It's not the first time this race that he's had a moment. And once again, finding the barriers. Lost his front wing, and that's the first neutralization of this race. That's not great news for Mr. McAtack, who created quite the gap to the cars in front, or the cars behind I should say. But that gap will be vanished after this neutralization period. We're pulling into the pit lane. Of course, for a set of hards, maybe till the end of the race, 25 laps. Still, as Scott gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Angelo as well, maybe. Yeah, Angelo as well. Both of them getting a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that is gonna ruin their race completely then. Now Mr. McAtack is in P1 and the cars behind him, both of them, have a 5-second time penalty. Panda is up into P4. Pepet Good, P5, ahead of Tom, and Kieslowski has pitted on the set of softs as he started on the hards. Basically had no other choice. Trimby has stayed out on his used set of hards. LTK Terrier has gone onto a fresh set of softs as well. Now down in P10 and dead last at the moment. As Angelo has come into the pit lane once again to serve his 5-second time penalty. I think that's quite a smart decision. So he has gone to a set of softs, so he will have to pit again in this race. One of the championship contenders. Now down to P10. Will have to fight his way back through the field. He will be able to on this fresh set of softs. Well, the majority of the drivers are on hards. Safety car staying out for yet another lap as Angelo is yet to close the gap. So the safety car will go in at the end of lap 14, meaning we will have 22 laps still remaining after that. Angelo pitting once again in this race. Wonder what tire he's gonna go on this time. Back to the hards, I suppose. Yes, it is. Onto the hards he just pitted onto. So he has served his 5-second time penalty and is now back out in P10. On a set of hards, which should be able to see him to the end of the race. Safety car in this lap. We will return to green flag racing as Angelo is about to close up to the field. Back attack bunching up the pack of cars behind. He will decide when to go, and there he goes. And that's a very good restart for him. Immediately pulling a half a second gap to Scott in P2. Has to deploy a bit of ERS in order to stay ahead of Panda in P3. There's fighting at the back with almost 3 wide there. Oh, a bit of contact between, I think it was Terrio and Kashimri. And Kashimri losing a position down to P9. Now to P10, and Scott has gone for the lead, taken a lead on lap 15. Has gotten past Mr. McAttack. Who's now down to P2. Terrier and Kyle fighting it out. And Terrier is now up at the P7, and Mr. McAttack losing all sorts of positions down to P5 for the former race leader. It's falling apart a bit right now, halfway into this race. And now Vepetkoud is up at the P3. One of the championship contenders. He wasn't really on the pace early on in the race, but with the 5-second penalty for Scott, he's virtually now the leading championship contender. As Panda has gone for the lead on lap 16. Absolute carnage at the safety car restart. All sorts of position changes. Kashimri has gone into the pit lane once again. Might have a bit of front wing damage after that collision earlier on with Terrier. But Panda Pachita now in P1 ahead of Scott. Kisletsko up at the P3. Has found a way past Vepetkoud. Kisletsko though is on the set of softs, and there's confirmation that Kashimri had front wing damage once again in this race. He's gone onto a set of softs. On to lap 17 we go, and Kisletsko is looking very close to the back of Scott as DRS has been enabled once again in this race. And Kisletsko, he's on a set of soft, so he wants to profit as much as he can from this safety car restart. halfway into this race. And Scott is going for the move once again and taking the lead at the beginning of lap 18. Has found a way past Panda and is who is now relegated down to P2. Just let's go following closely behind. Just good looking for the move, but it's not quite an overtaking opportunity in this middle part of the lap. As we enter the start-finish straight, 2 tenths between himself and Panda. Not quite able to get close enough to go for the move. Meanwhile, Makatek fighting his way back through the field, although he's wheel to wheel with LTK into turn 1. Close to contact, but Makatek up to P5. Terrier has to defend from Angelo. Angelo trying to go the long way around the outside into turn 4, but not quite able to pull it off. Has to stick behind him in P7, and he's gone wide and he's got damage. Angelo has got damage, and this is crucial for his championship hopes. Not sure where he sustained a bit of damage from, but the front left end plate is missing. Meaning he'll have to pit for repairs. That's his championship hopes absolutely crushed. Unless there is another neutralization in this race, but right now, way on the back foot. As Panda is re-overtaking Scott for the lead. And this time Kislesko was also going for it, but Scott braking way later. And holding on to P2. On the back straight, Kislesko looking for the inside. Hasn't quite got the overspeed. And Angelo, there we go into the pit lane for a new front wing and set of tires. Here goes Scott once again, taking the lead on lap 21. Finds himself swapping positions with Panda. Not for the first time in this race, but he's still got this 5-second time penalty. That is going to hurt at the end of the race. Got the top 7 right in one screen on view. Here goes Tom trying to go around the outside of Terrier, but I think he got a bit of grass on his tires. Has to stick behind and stay in P7. And here we go once again. And this time it's Panda retaking the lead swapping positions every single lap. Ooh, and Scott aggressively blocking off Kieślowski, who was trying to go for the move, but didn't quite get the space to pull it off. Having to stay behind. Oh, and they're going side by side now in the middle part of the lap. Scott and Panda. And Scott is now back into the lead. But backing off for DRS, but now he's got Kieślowski on the inside. I think there was a bit of contact between the two. And here comes Vapid as well, going for the move on Kieślowski. Scott now on the inside at the turn 1, taking the lead. Vapid is up into P3. And trying to go for P2, and there's contact between him and Panda's been spun around. And nearly into the wall. I don't think he has sustained any damage. Contact between him and Vapid and Panda all the way down to P7. Chances of a race win absolutely destroyed. Mr. Macatak now back into P2 in this race. As Elticaterra going off once again in this race. And he has got damage as well on the front wing. So what's going on there? 13 laps to go. Scott and Macatak now wheel to wheel. This is for the championship, and Macatak is back into the lead on lap 24. With Vapid with a 3-second time penalty, that could be crucial. And now Scott is retaking the lead once again in this race, and now they're fighting on the exit. Mr. Macatak with the switchback, able to repass him. Now he's back into the lead. Laps to go. I wonder how long the softs of Kieślowski will last, as Scott once again goes for the move and he's back into the lead. And now Mr. Macatak will have the DRS once again, and he will really overtake Scott into turn 4. There we go. Mr. Macatak back into the lead. I'd be surprised if Scott went for the move once again on the back straight to re-overtake Mr. Macatak into the center. There we go, up the inside and past into the lead. As you like it. Now onto the Retro Poste. And Mr. Macatac will have the DRS again. Into the Cito del Lago. He'll have to go the long way around the outside, and that does not work. As he hits the grass and he's all the way down to P4 behind Tom and Kieśleczko. Not quite the move we would have hoped for. Losing out a few positions. Ten laps to go. And Scott is going into the pit lane on lap 26. This is a very interesting call by one of the championship contenders. He'll have to serve his 5-second time penalty, of course. And going on to a set of softs till the end. It's basically his only chance of fighting for the championship. Coming out all the way down to P7. And take a look at the gap. The gap to the leaders is 25 seconds. That's the gap he has to close with 9.5 laps to go. Angelo up into P5. Terry has left the session. Tom Gorian has inherited the lead, although Kieśleczko is gonna look to change that. His softs are already 15-16 laps old, but he's still fighting strong, and it's almost 3 wide as Mr. Macatac goes to the inside as well and is now going wheel to wheel with Tom. And Mr. Macatac was down on P4 a few moments ago, but now is back into the lead on lap 28. And there comes Tom once again and retakes the lead. And now Kieśleczko is on the inside as well, but he couldn't quite find a way past. And Mr. Macatac staying in P2. Mr. Macatac now in P1, 7 laps remaining. Scott is in P6, looking to find a way past Angelo up ahead. These two championship rivals. But it's quite an easy pass and fastest lap of the race as well for Scott. 110.6. Made up quite the gap already. 19 seconds it is still. In 2 laps time, that's basically 6 seconds gained for Scott. It could become very close near the end of the race. Meanwhile, Mr. Macatac has broken free of Tom and Kieśleczko, and that's going to be crucial for him in his championship fight. Kieśleczko still going strong on these very old softs. Move on to lap 37, laps to go, and Tom Gorian has completely closed the gap on the back straight. And Mr. Macatac has now got them within the DRS range once again. Looks as Tom Gorian has the straight line speed advantage. How much he's closing in on the second straight. closing right up to the back of Mr. Mac Attack. This is where Mac Attack gains the time. This is where Tom loses everything, because he hasn't quite got the downforce compared to the cars around him. Now the grab has once again grown to over a second. And there's yellow flags, and I think it's Kyle, and Kyle has spun around. This is not good news for the Jordan team. We're looking for a Constructors' Championship tonight, but going to be happening with them down in P7 and P8 when Scott is in P5. 6 laps to go. 17 seconds is still the gap between Scott and the front runners. Crucially between Scott and Mr. Mac Attack. At the moment, Mr. Mac Attack is looking at a World Championship. It's gonna be 5 laps remaining in this race. Can Mac Attack bring it home? Can he win the race, and can he win the championship as well? Just has to finish ahead of Scott and his other championship rivals, but they're behind Scott in P6 and 7. This time, Tom is much closer to the back of Mr. Mac Attack, and he might even have DRS onto the back straight. Very close. I'm not sure. See if the rear flap will open. No, not quite. But he was barely above a second. 4 laps now left in this race. Mac Attack still out in front. Tom in second and Gislesko in third. Still staying strong on these 21 lap old softs. Surely he's getting to a dangerous situation with tire wear. And looks as if Tom has made a bit of a mistake, because the gap is now over a second before the penultimate corner. At 1.2. It's the biggest it has been over the past few laps. 3 laps now to go. Lap 34 out of 36. Gislesko losing a lot of time. His tires probably absolutely dead. 22 laps he's been driving on them. The gap is over 10 seconds though to Panda and P4. But behind Panda it's Scott right behind him. So Scott, if Gislesko loses even more time, might still be on for a podium finish. Have to find a way past Panda, which he does on the second straight with the help of DRS. It's now 10 seconds is the gap between him and Kizlesko with 2.5 laps to go. Tom Gorin has completely lost connection to Mr. Makatech. 1.7 is now. Mr. Makatech has broken free as we go on to the penultimate lap of this race. Scott has closed in 2 more seconds to Kizlesko. Now the gap is 8 seconds. Might not be over for the final podium position. The gap is now down to 7 seconds. Podium is still on. Meanwhile, Mr. Makatech into the final sector. Just 1 lap to go to bring it home for a win at Brazil. But not only to win the race, but to win the championship for himself as well. I think Scott is just gonna miss out. He's getting another 3 seconds, but there's only 1 lap to go, so 1 more lap and he might have been able to finish on the podium, although there's a yellow flag in front. Is that Mr. Makatech running out of fuel, or... No, it's someone else. Oh my goodness, it's Kashimri who's got a puncture. With 19 laps old, Kizlesko is on 24 laps and he is still running for somehow. Drama on the final lap of this race. Thought for one moment there was something wrong with Mr. Makatech, but fortunately for him, he is still standing. Same can't be said for Kashimri. Mr. Makatech now round the final corner and on to the start-finish straight. Lap 36 out of 36, the final lap. And for the final time, he's gonna cross the line to win the Brazilian Grand Prix and to win. Oh my goodness me, what a crash. To win the championship for himself. In the end, Tom Gorian wins the race because of that, but Mr. Makatech has beaten Scott. Oh, and Kizlesko got a rear right puncture on the final lap, but managed to stay ahead of Scott by only half a second. And Mr. Makatech is world champion in season 2 of Papa Champs. And there we go. It's been quite a car park here on the main straight. What's going on for everyone piling up into the back of Makatech and Carl, I think it is. In the end, Tom Gorian is the one who wins the race, but don't think it matters when Mr. Makatech claims the championship. Well done to them. This is going to mark the end of this season as well. Been quite a roller coaster, and in the end, It's Mr. Macatak who comes out on top. With a comfortable display near the end of the race. Certainly wasn't looking that way earlier on. Tom Gordon winning from 9th on the grid. Keselowski 3rd from 10th on the grid with a puncture on the final lap. Incredible stuff. Papert Koet with the fast lap. It's been an eventful race, an eventful season. But it has now come to an end with Mr. Macatak on top. And can confirm that Scott wins the Constructors' Championship for Target. Chip Ganassi Racing as Papert Koet and Carl couldn't manage to outscore him in the Jordans. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Thanks everyone for watching. Not only this race, but the previous races of the season as well. And I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.